Will Brian Moser kill Harry Morgan in Dexter Original Sin? Let's discuss another theory. I'm Pamela, welcome back to the channel. Today I have another Dexter Original Sin theory for you guys. You have really been enjoying my past theories, which a couple of them have turned out to be true. Spoiler alert for Dexter Original Sin, if you're not caught up, then this video might not be for you. Come back for it later because we're going to discuss a couple of spoilers from episode 8. So in episode 8, we find out that Brian Moser is in fact the NHI killer. I posted a theory to my channel about a week ago, turned out to be correct. So now it's got me thinking, will Brian Moser kill Harry Morgan? We know from the original Dexter that this is not the case, or at least we just don't know that this is the case. Both Dexter and Deborah go years with thinking that Harry died from heart disease, that his condition got to him. And then later in the show, Dexter finds out that Harry actually supposedly killed himself. And he talks to Captain Matthews about this. We find out that Harry Morgan overdosed on his heart medication, and he died by suicide. Now, Captain Matthews tells Dexter that it's because the job got to him. It got to be too much, as is the case for many cops out there. But after Matthews tells him the truth that Harry killed himself, Dexter realizes that it was really because of Dexter. Harry walks in on Dexter killing his 4th victim, and he is like sick to his stomach. He cannot deal with what Dexter has done and the fact that Harry is responsible for it. He believes that he turned Dexter into this monster, and he's like disgusted by what Dexter has done. And he's kind of scared of Dexter in that moment. He tells him to get away from him. And the next day is when Harry dies, and Dexter thinks it's from his health condition, but finds out it was by suicide. But what if Brian Moser really killed him? What if Brian kills Harry? And we're gonna find it out in Dexter Original Sin. Obviously, this would be considered sort of a retcon, but Original Sin is already doing this with some stuff. We are finding things out in this prequel show that we did not know before. Like Harry having a biological son who died. We never learned this in the original Dexter. Now, Original Sin is already changing certain things though. Like there are some inconsistencies between the prequel and the original show. I mean, Harry kills himself after Dexter's 4th victim, but I don't think that's going to be the case in Original Sin, which kind of sucks, you know, the inconsistencies, but I'm willing to look past it. Dexter has 3 victims under his belt, so the 4th one's coming up soon, and technically Harry is supposed to die after that. But the creators say that they're keeping Harry around a little longer because they want to keep Christian Slater around for season 2. So I don't think Harry's gonna die after victim number 4. Something that's got me thinking that Brian could kill him is we have confirmation Brian's the NHI killer. And in the original Dexter, Brian killed Dexter's bio dad, Joe Driscoll. He killed him with medication of some kind. It might have been diabetic insulin. Driscoll was a recovered addict for about 30 years, didn't have anything stronger than Advil in his cabinet, so, you know, it's not like he overdosed on drugs. Brian killed Joe Driscoll to get closer to Dexter. So could he do the same thing with Harry Morgan? We are finding out more about Brian's backstory with these NHI kills. Harry took Brian's file and hid it so that people won't find out Brian is the killer, because it could lead to Dexter. So obviously Brian's gonna get away with this, so I can see this storyline with Brian carrying into season 2. Because I've said before, this show is a prequel for Dexter, but it could almost be a prequel for Brian as well. Brian is kind of like this other half of Dexter. They have so many similarities. They both went through the same traumatic experience, and they both ended up becoming serial killers. The difference is Dexter had help from Harry, and Brian was sort of abandoned. Maybe going forward in season 2, Harry will try to help Brian. And maybe we'll see Dr. Vogel in season 2. Maybe she will try to help Brian as well, obviously to no avail, but maybe we'll get to see scenes where Brian actually talks and interacts, and we actually get to see him talking with Harry, talking with Dr. Vogel, trying to get him help. Vogel obviously won't be able to help him, and Brian will be upset about this, that he can't be helped, and that Harry chose Dexter over him and end up killing Harry. In Brian's file, it says Harry only wanted to adopt Dexter and that created a problem for Brian. And he knew about Harry and Laura's affair, so maybe he blames Harry for Laura's death, and obviously abandoning him, but taking Dexter. I think this makes a lot of sense. I definitely could see it happening. Brian definitely has this hatred inside of him for Harry. Harry abandoned Brian and only cared about Dexter. In the file, it even says Dexter called Harry father. So Dexter and Harry had this connection. Him and Brian never did, and he's angry that Dexter has had this whole life where he was more nurtured and Brian wasn't. So the same way he killed Joe Driscoll in the original show, I can definitely see him killing Harry. Maybe poisoning him with his heart medication, kind of the same way Hannah did with Deborah in season 7. She puts a bunch of Deb's Xanax in her water bottle. Maybe Brian will do something similar with Harry's heart meds. Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. I know a lot of you have the same idea. I've been seeing it in my comment section. And I talked about it in my recap and review video for episode 8, and a lot of you guys seem to agree with me. And one question for you guys. Do you think that Joe Driscoll was also Brian's biological father? They never state otherwise. It's assumed that they have the same father, Joe Driscoll, but I've always kind of wondered if maybe Dexter and Brian are half brothers just because they look so different. Brian has dark hair and Dexter has red hair, and they don't really look similar in the face. They look very different, so I wonder if they both have different bio dads. I don't know, just a thought. Let me know your thoughts on that, but that is it for today. That is yet another Dexter Original Sin theory. I think we might see Brian Moser kill Harry Morgan in season 2. And obviously Dexter won't ever find this out, because in the original show, you know, he at first thinks it's his heart disease and then thinks it's suicide for what Dexter did. So he'll never find out that Brian is the one who actually killed him, but I can see them telling just us, the audience. Like I said, Original Sin is already revealing lots of things that we didn't know before. As a prequel show, that's kind of what they have to do to keep us interested, to keep it fresh and new. They have to reveal new information. Speaking of which, I've mentioned this theory before. I'm sure a lot of you here already know it, but in case you're new here, I think we might find out in Original Sin that Harry Morgan is not Deborah's biological father. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but I will link my theory video for this down in the description if you want to check it out. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on future Dexter theories like this one. I have another one planned. Stay tuned. But thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time.